week 3 games are in the books. We I covered Poland and Belfast. Poland's first game I wrote about during the week about how Poland and Levitt haven't been able to play a game yet until today because of Poland had a bye week, and then Bucksport canceled because they had COVID cases, so they didn't get to play in week 2. So week 3 is their first game, and Levitt was going to play MCI first week. MCI had cases, and then Herman canceled because they had cases. And Poland almost didn't play in week 3. Also, they were going to play Madison Karabakh, and they had to cancel because I think Madison's just full remote right now. They're not even in school.
Yeah, I think Carabek is too. Both of them.
So that's terrible luck. But Belfast came in on Tuesday and said they'd play Poland. They made the 2.5-hour drive to Poland to play, and the Knights had kind of an up and down game. If you don't mind me just going and talking about it.
I don't. I have no objections here.
Okay, great. So Poland, first drive went right down the field. Quarterback Sam Luce, who I talked to for my story yesterday, that's online on sunjournal.com. He went right down the field. He was running the ball, handing it off, and everyone else was running. Like Isaac Fifield was trucking down the field. They score. Sam Luce scores from like 10 or 15 yards out. It's going great. They stop Belfast, and then the next drive, like 5 plays in, Sam Luce has a pretty bad knee injury. And I know it's bad because he tried to get up and tried to put weight on it and just absolutely couldn't, and had to have 2 guys walk him off, and he was on crutches and the whole deal for the rest of the game. So he was out. So they had to bring in a junior backup quarterback, and Coach Gus LeBlanc said that their goal was to just run the ball. They didn't want to put the backup quarterback into any tough positions or stress him out too much because, obviously, how do you prepare for this situation? So they just ran, and Isaac had like 140 something yards on the ground, and all of Poland's yards, all 266 of them, were on the ground, and they beat Belfast 27-13. Hunter Madison had 2 picks, and he's usually just a basketball player. This is his first 11-man tackle football game of his career.
Hunter Gibson?
Hunter Gibson, yeah. I think I'm still thinking about Madison Karabakh. Hunter Gibson. He had 2 picks, one at the end of the first half in the end zone when Belfast was in the red zone. That was really a momentum-killing pick and maybe a game-saving pick for Poland because they score there, and it's maybe a tie game going into halftime, and it's totally different. So, or it's a 1-score game going into halftime. So, Poland came out with a win. They ran the ball, and it was effective. So they're 1-0 in Class D, but it'll be interesting to see how they adjust because they have Winthrop, Monmouth, Halldale next week, and Winthrop has a really great defensive line and can do a whole lot of different things on offense also. So it'll be interesting to see how they can move about if they don't have Sam Luce at quarterback. They have a new guy, and how they can adjust on the fly here heading into week 4.
Yeah. But tremendous wins to start the season, especially.
Oh yeah.
Since this is their first game, they could have been rusty, but they really weren't. They kind of sounds like their offense started moving from the beginning.
Yeah, they were really,
especially their run game. They didn't even have any passing yards, but
I mean, it didn't matter. They were doing reverses and some option stuff, and just stuff up the middle, just a whole bunch of different things to keep the Belfast defense, who was kind of crowding the line, putting 8-9 guys in the box, and they were still running around them. So it was effective, and they were really excited about their win too. Isaac was talking about how they haven't had a home opener playoff game, home opener win, or even just a home win in a little while here. So they'll take the win, and they're really excited about it. But you could tell that Isaac was pretty. When I talked to him after the game, he was pretty upset because of Sam. He said it was his best friend, so it was kind of hard for him to see that happen to him and be a part of that. But he just put his head down and ran, like he said, and it worked out for them. So yeah, it was a really big win for Poland. Really good crowd, loud crowd. So it was a really fun atmosphere and kind of a fun game to watch.
Yeah. Well, it's not, I mean, yeah, I think a 27-13 win is pretty good for Poland. They're not really known as a program that wins a lot.
Yeah,
And so,
you'll take that against a Class C team too, which they beat.
yeah,
They beat two Class C teams in the preseason. Granted, it's preseason, but um,
yeah,
they had seen bigger schools before, and so I think that probably helped mentally just to kind of tell themselves that it was going to be all right and that they can do it. I think that kind of goes a little bit. That
yeah,
has to help a little, but yeah, they were very excited about this win.
yeah. So it's a really good start for them. Because yeah, they could have. They're playing in Class C school. The Knights hadn't played a game yet this season, so that's a
Right.
pretty good start to them. It's hard to say what it's gonna lead to, especially when they play Winthrop, Monmouth, Halldale next week. But
Yeah, that will
um,
be. It'll be telling to see where Poland is at, and I don't expect them to go and beat that
yeah,
Winthrop because I think they're one of the best teams in Class D. But um, it'll be. I'm just interested to see. I'm trying not to say interested all the time, but I want to see how they adjust on the fly and use their backup quarterback and if they're going to let him throw a little bit more with a week of game planning, which I'm sure they will.
yeah,
Um, and they can run the ball. They've got a couple runners that are pretty strong, but Winthrop's lines are what impressed me the most in week one against Bucksport. So it we'll see where they're really at, but they should really soak in this win today and tomorrow and feel good about themselves because it was a really strong, impressive win from them.
yeah. And it sounds like they've got a few athletes.
Yep.
And I say this a lot, not a lot, but occasionally, that having basketball players on your team is a good thing for football teams usually.
Yeah.
Just because
Right.
a lot of athleticism that brings to the team. That's kind of an all
Right.
around type of athleticism.
Yeah.
Um,
Hunter Gibson's probably like 6'3", 6'4", and he compared his interceptions to just going up and getting a rebound. So
yeah,
um, yeah, it helps having him. He stopped a couple drives for Belfast, and um, their their defense in the third quarter kind of let the Belfast quarterback there, McGowan, get 5 straight completions and finish with a touchdown. But other than that, he wasn't getting any throws off really. 2 receivers, he threw 3 picks. So Poland's got to feel pretty good about their defense overall today.
oh man, I've been trying to hold back that yawn for like 5 minutes and it just came out.
That's right. It's been a long
Um,
day.
yeah, and but the other thing is that Belfast was stacking the lines from according to your story.
Yeah.
Um, and but Poland just decided, well, we're going to keep running it until it doesn't work anymore, and it never stopped working. So
Right.
um, so I don't know if that's their line or what, but that's a
Well,
kind of a good sign for the team that they can do that. Like when the other team knows what's coming and you still do it and they still can't stop it, and
yep.
something is going right.
Right. Something's working. Yeah. Gus LeBlanc, the coach, like I said he was after the game. He said that when he got there, they didn't really have too much of an offensive line at all, and that's what he's really been trying to work on. And and then he talked about, yeah, Belfast was putting 8, 9 guys in the box and really selling out on the run, especially after Sam Luce uh, got hurt and was out of the game. And the momentum on the ground really never changed for Poland. They just kept doing what they were doing, and it kept working. And so they've got a line that knows uh, where to go and what to do, and they've got playmakers in the back like I said, Isaac Fifield. They have shoot, I lost his name here, but they've Brady Martin had I think like 80 something yards on the ground too. So they've got some guys back there that can break open and or get you 5, 6, 7 yards in a chunk, and that can do some damage if they can get some kind of pass game going next week. Who knows?
Okay, yeah. Um, so that's a good win for Poland. I don't know. I wasn't really expecting them to win, just because it's not like Levitt where you're like, oh, that's going to be a really good team. Poland is. I know Spencer Emerson did some good things the last couple of years. In 2018 and 19.
Yeah.
But still, I think one of those seasons was like a 2-win season.
Exactly right.
Class C, I think. But anyway, so yeah, I guess I wasn't really knowing what to expect, but it's kind of it wasn't what I was expecting from that game.
No,
and I didn't know anything about Belfast, and I don't know anything about their program, but I was just thinking Poland, new program or new coach.
Yeah, haven't played
Class
yet.
D school with no game
Right.
experience, but it sounds like they had a pretty good experience in the preseason against Freiburg. They beat them.
Yeah, they came back and beat Freiburg in the preseason, and I think although it's just an exhibition, it's a preseason. I think that does help mentally, just knowing that you can go and play a Class C team and still do damage against them. I think mentality.
A lot of times the preseason doesn't mean much, but for some teams or some games it ends up meaning something. And so that's a good start to the season. We'll talk about Levitt's win in a minute, but I want to talk about what's becoming my favorite team so far this season, and that's Telstar.
Yeah, your boy.
We keep thinking like, okay, so we're like, oh well, Telstar beat Trape, but we'll see what they can do against Boothbay.
Yeah,
and then they shut out Boothbay. And in their first 2 games, I think they scored 100 points and didn't give up any.
Yeah.
They actually gave up
or 6
points.
I think they gave up like 6. Yeah.
Okay, they gave up some points today. I think 6. So they gave up six more today, but they beat Old Orchard Beach 26-6.
Right.
And so that's pretty surprising. And the first 2 weeks, a lot of the scoring came from Will Doyle to Miles Lilly, the receiver.
Yeah.
And this week it was Braden Stevens. Well, those 2 connected on 1 touchdown. Gavin Martin scored on a 60-yard run, I believe.
60-yard touchdown run, yeah.
And then Braden Stevens, who I thought would be good because he had some big plays in 2019. He scored 2 touchdowns, and in the second half, and at the point of those 2 touchdowns, the first one, it was 12-6, the lead for Telstar.
Yeah.
Over Old Orchard Beach. And then so he scored, then he ran in the 2-point conversion, 20-6, and then he scores in the fourth quarter, he scored a touchdown.
Right.
They get 26-6. And he also forced a fumble that his teammate Cameron Palmer, I believe recovered it, and they win 26-6. So small school, the small school 8-man football division, it's I don't know, it seems like Telstar has a really, really good chance to win it. Because Old Orchard Beach was they were kind of the small school champion in 2018, and they went to the state championship game against the large school champion, right, which is Mount Ararat, and Old Orchard Beach didn't win that game, but I mean Old Orchard Beach has really embraced 8-man football from the start. They were kind of I think they're part of the movement to get 8-man football started in Maine, and they just like jumped into it, had a really good season. In fact, Old Orchard Beach and Telstar played the first ever 8-man football game in Maine in 2019, and Old Orchard Beach won. And now here's Telstar just like racking up the points and the wins.
This is Megan Davies, Beachbody Super Train.
Oh no, Max Preps. I was looking
at Beach Bodies.
I swear to God, I was looking at who Sacopee Valley has played because I was looking at Telstar's schedule.
Oh.
That was one of the worst moments of my life.
Yeah.
But
I was like, I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm pretty sure that's not me because I don't.
I was looking at the tabs. I was looking at my tabs and trying to find the microphone, like the microphone icon. It was Max Preps. But yeah, so Yeah, your Telstar boys have outscored teams 126-12 so far, and then they have Maranacook, who just got taken down by Dirigo today. We'll get to in a second, and then they have Sacopee Valley, who I believe, lost to Grey New Gloucester, and then Lake Region and Trape to end the season. So, I mean, you don't want to pencil in wins, but it's got to. They've proven that they can beat a whole lot of different teams and in different ways. So it's been fun so far. This was one of their bigger tests. Old Orchard Beach 2-0, like you said, and they took care of business.
Yeah, that's fun. That's really exciting for them because
Yes, it is.
Before 8-man football started, it had been years since they won a varsity football game, and I can't remember now how many years it's been. So, like I think I say this every week. 8-man football has been very, very good to Telstar.
Yeah, and it's good that they've embraced it and it's working for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like it's been perfect for them. Like they have enough athletes to be really good, be effective at 8-man football. So
yeah,
just that. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, good win by them. I think like this week 26-6 isn't like that's a normal football score, but the first couple weeks, especially the first one, they put up a bunch of points, which happens in 8-man football. So you can say like, oh, those points are 8-man football. But when you're holding your opponents to 6 points, 0 points, and 6 points.
Exactly. Yeah.
That went, and then that's not 8-man football.
Right. No.
So they've got a good defense. And yeah, I was kind of wondering when Braden Stevens was going to kind of like take over. Or not take over, but he scored and made plays here and there, but I don't know. Not that his first 2 weeks were like in any way disappointing, but just when he was going to be like, it's
kind of his game
in a win. And so they have that going for them too, which is cool.
Right. Yep.
Oh, lots of good players. So so that's a good win for them. They're 3-0, and back to like so there was no rustiness from Poland, and there was actually nothing even resembling rustiness when it comes to Levitt. They beat Wells 41-0 in a game that like we called it our game of the week. It was kind of talked about on the Varsity Main live show last night,
right? Yep.
And as one of the big games of the week. And Levitt won 41-0.
Yeah.
So they, I don't know. I didn't really read this story too much on that one, but what happened in that one? What's the?
Oh, it's just Hunter
story?
Hayes. It's Hunter Hayes, the Levitt quarterback. He had 587 total yards of offense, which is just bananas.
Wow.
I guess. The offense had. Okay, sorry. The offense had.
Oh, it's gonna okay, good.
587. Yeah, I read that earlier and I was like, wow, he had a whole lot. And I reread it because 587 is just an absurd number.
Yeah.
But
you would think they win by more than 41-0 if
that
many yards.
Right. But he threw for 199. I think he had like 80 something rushing yards. Sawyer Hathaway had 7 catches for 146 yards. And
wow.
Yeah, the other Hathaway boy, who can shoot. He's got a good 3-point jumper for basketball season. Keep that in mind. Okay. But I think we picked this as the game of the week just because of Wells and their history, recent history, even the last 5-6 years.
Yeah,
just how strong they've been. But Tim Roche, the coach there, told me during the week that they only had one player from that 2019 team going into this season. So I thought it would still be pretty close, but it seems like Levitt's just kind of a wagon already. And that's why the first 2 games against MCI and Herman hurt, that we just couldn't see more of this Levitt team play. Yeah. But we're here now, and hopefully they can keep going, because it seems like Hunter Hayes it's pretty strong.
Yeah, that's a really good start.
9 yards too. Sorry.
What's that?
Hayes threw for 199 and he rushed for 89.
Okay.
So he almost had 300 yards of offense by himself. So
That's 298, right? No, 290, 280, 288, right?
yeah, 288.
Wow, that's good. That's a good start. I mean, yeah, when you throw for 199 in Maine football, that's a lot.
That's a lot. It is a lot for Maine. Yeah.
It just doesn't seem to happen a ton.
Right.
That's really good. That's a really good start for them.
Yeah, they have another Calder kid, Dayton Calder.
Okay. Those guys are
Sawyer Hathaway. So they just
keep their weapons, those Calders.
They keep re-upping. The backup quarterback, Noah Carpenter, he's a sophomore, but Mike Hathaway, he played a little bit. He had 73 yards and a score today when I'm sure they brought in the backups. But Mike Hathaway was saying Noah Carpenter next year and the year after, he's going to be just as good. He's got really, really high hopes for him. So it goes to they just reload. They've just got a program that I'm sure it starts at when they're kids and they just grow into it. And the middle school program has a lot of kids in it. And so they just keep reloading and re-upping. And I'm sure they're going to be really strong this year too.
Yeah, that's impressive win. Yeah, so I don't think that there's any concern about them making the playoffs
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't really anyway because so many teams make the playoffs that it'd be hard for them to miss it. But
yeah, it was just that little bit of doubt because you hadn't seen him and you don't know the new quarterback. And yeah, he's projected to be really good. Some sites had him as the player of the year going in, but you still had to see it. And to do that against Wells, there's not a whole lot of doubt in my mind anymore that they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, they'll be contenders.
Right.
Sure. And then on the other end, another team that was playing its first game of the season was Maranacook, and turns out they were a little bit rusty, and I think they were shorthanded too. They didn't have their quarterback and a few other key players, but Dirigo took it to him pretty well, and they beat them. Slipped my mind now. It's 30-14.
Yeah.
And just kind of like what happened, first of all, Brett Fry, I got it right.
There you
2021.
Yeah.
I got their last name right finally. First try.
He would get on Randy and I so many times.
I know.
Getting the name wrong.
I always felt so dumb when I would say that. But he said that he told Will Kramlich, our reporter, that Dirigo, because they Spruce Mountain took it to Dirigo pretty well last week, and he said that they're pretty good. That Dirigo was going to be a pretty good team, and they in that second half against Spruce Mountain they threw the ball a lot.
Yeah, and
this week it was Charlie Howton, who the quarterback, and who kind of led the charge both running and throwing, and he hooked up with Trenton Hutchinson a few times. Mm-hmm. For some scores and some big plays. So that's a big win. That's Dirigo's first 8-man football win in school history.
Yeah, congratulations, Dirigo.
Yeah, which is good after. I mean, we talked about how they're the ones they opened up against Mount Abram or Mount Ararat, right? Was that
Mount Ararat? Yeah.
And then they had to play Spruce, and so
with their quarterback, so a tough first two games. You're right.
Yeah, and so but they performed well. They've learned. I mean, they still have the young line, I guess, but Charlie Houghton's a good quarterback.
Yep,
move the ball, and he's new to the position. He's a basketball player, but I don't think he played quarterback before this season. And
oh wow,
he's done. Yeah, he's a tall kid, and he can run. So they've I think I said early or before the season that Dirigo will figure it out. They always figure out how to play football there.
Oh yeah.
And so that's a solid win for them.
Yeah.
All around. Because Maranacook's not a slouch. They're no slouch, you know?
No, right. They
in the 8-man football game.
Right. In the 8-man football game, they've been performing well. It said that Maranacook had 4 starters out, but obviously the coach wasn't making any excuses about it, and he has a quote about that. and the Dirigo coach was saying that they had some injuries in the first couple of weeks and that they were kind of more ready for today's game. Just to your point about Charlie Howton, he had 13 rushes, 60 yards. He ran for 2, and then he threw for 2 touchdowns. So he had all the scores for Dirigo. And Trenton Hutchinson, you mentioned him. He had 5 catches and 96 yards and both receiving touchdowns. So, really, really good win for Dirigo. They get a win on the board in 8-man, probably feel a little bit better about themselves and being a part of 8-man. And if they can keep healthy and keep playing, then, I mean, there's no reason to think they can't build off this. So it's a good win. It's a good win for the morale because, like we said, Maranacook played really well in 8-man
in 2019. Yeah, they were
right. So
they were solid.
Yep.
And they were solid in the large school division, and now they're down in the small school, I believe. Yep. And so I think, and even more impressive might be that Spruce Mountain is really rolling along since
they are.
They opened the season with a loss, but they blew by Yarmouth today, 44-20, and
they're cruising.
They're doing pretty well. Yeah, they I can't even remember who they lost to, but in the first week. But
I can't remember. I can pull that up and
I can easily find it.
But that Camden Phillips, it's crazy how much he's made a difference. Their quarterback.
Yeah,
he's really helped them out here.
Oh no, they played Mount Ararat High the first week. Dirigo played Booth Bay.
Oh, okay. I knew that one of the 8-man teams that was starting this year had to start with Mount Ararat, and it just wasn't going to be fair to whoever it was. It was Spruce. Okay, and they didn't have Camden Phillips, like I said, their quarterback. And then they get him back for the Dirigo game. They beat Dirigo 52-22, and then they come in today and they take care of business against Yarmouth. So, Coach Fry was really excited about the speed. He was adjusting his kind of spread offense to more of a pistol because of the smaller field, and he felt pretty good about it. And it's just cool. Like we've mentioned it a couple times, but I think it's still just him. I don't think they've hired any assistant coaches. So I think it's just pretty impressive that he's taken on this challenge by himself, moving to 8-man, figured it out, watched a bunch of film, and now they're 2-1. So hey, 3 weeks in, can't really beat it.
Some assistant coaches need to jump on that bandwagon, right?
Right
into the postseason.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Spruce's schedule, I'm on it right now. It's kind of interesting. They have Cheverus at home, then they go to Gray, New Gloucester, and then they go to Mountain Valley. So a couple of our teams, and then Cheverus, who is to me a surprising 8-man team, just because of how big the school is and stuff. But it'll be cool to see how they fare against those 3 teams.
Yeah, 8-man football is not really for a school like Cheverus or Mount Ararat, but those schools are having a hard. Mount Ararat, I don't know. I guess those schools are having a hard time with finding football players.
Right.
It didn't seem like it was that big of a deal for Cheverus, but maybe they're just their football playing population just dropped off suddenly. Right. But hopefully those schools don't have to play 8-man for very long. They can move on. But Spruce Mountain, not a big school, but they're in the large school division of 8-man football. So that is not easy. But one of their opponents you talked about was Mountain Valley, who played a good game. They beat Booth Bay 46-22. So we've had a lot of the first 2 weeks where it feels like we were talking about a lot of teams who got blown out from our area, but today our coverage area really stepped up and had a bunch of big wins.
They did. Let's go coverage area. And Lee, you said 46-22 as a final, and if you follow their Twitter account, they had a couple updates and they were up 30-0 with 5 minutes left in the third. So I presume maybe they were bringing in some backups or something like that, because it seemed like it was less close than even 46-22 maybe. So really strong win. That's got to feel good for them and get in the win column. And yeah, cool to see these teams finally getting a hold of 8-man and moving on. So
Yeah. And I told you that they would figure out how to play football. They always figure it out. Mountain Valley. So
right.
that's a good win for them. They lost to Mount Ararat last week pretty handily, but I think everybody is going to lose to Mount Ararat by a lot.
Right. I mean, they're also a team that had to start with Mount Ararat because I think Mountain Valley's
first
game got canceled. So
yeah, that's why I think I just looked up and I couldn't find a score for the first week of the season.
Yeah. So it looks like they lost to Mount Ararat, which obviously we've recapped. Tough way to start your season, but get in the win column against Boothbay, and then they got Sycopee Valley and then Dirigo and Spruce. So I mean, 8-man in our coverage area should be kind of fun to keep track of and follow along with, because there's some winning programs that are moving down to 8-man, and you just said Mountain Valley will figure it out, and I'm sure Dirigo and Spruce will figure it out too, because they're they're football schools. So we'll see. Should be fun to watch. I'm excited.
Yeah, and Spruce is actually might be a pretty good team to play 8-man, just because of the personnel they usually have, which is usually some very fast weapons. Maybe not the biggest guys, but some really fast weapons. I know Phillips is actually really tall, and they've had a few guys like that.
Yeah, but it's usually quick guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but that plays pretty well in 8-man football.
Right.
So they could be a dangerous team.
Right.
Play. Let's see. Great New Gloucester was the latest victim of Mount Ararat today, losing 58-32. But
right,
Gray continues to put up points against everybody.
Yeah, honestly, right. That's what you got to take from this. Is the points.
Yeah.
And you go from there.
And I mean, losing by 26 is not great. It's not fun, but scoring 32 points and losing by 26 is a lot better than scoring 6 points and losing by 26, I think.
Yeah. Right.
So it's more fun for them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
are you laying your bed right now?
Yeah, I am. I've been moving all over. But
you look very comfortable.
I am. I'm doing great. They scored 20 against Lake Region in their loss, but then they put up 38 against Sycopee Valley in their win. So, and then 32 tonight. So I mean, they're putting points up.
Yeah.
And then Mount Ararat, obviously, just a tough team. It seemed like a shootout type of thing, and you can let a game get away from you real quick against that kind of game. But we'll see. They got Yarmouth next, and then Spruce. So we'll see how the Patriots go from here.
Yeah, those should be some fun games that are coming up.
Yep.
I think let's see what have we talked about is Oxford Hills won it at Skowhegan. I don't really know. We don't know too much about that game.
No,
I don't see anybody providing any updates. We haven't really heard from the coaching staff yet. But
nope, I just had somebody message me the score because he asked me if I had seen it and I didn't see it, and then he sent me 27-13. And I wish I knew a little bit about it, but Skowhegan, obviously not Class A. Oh, Travis Lee just posted a highlight video of the game, but it says Soren keeps Oxford Hills rolling, which I mean I figured they would. It was an interesting opponent because Skowhegan obviously not Class A, Class B. It's someone out of your who you usually play, but they took care of business. And Class A got kind of interesting today, because Scarborough lost to Bangor in what I guess people said was like game of the week type of stuff. They won, I think, like 38-37 or 37-36.
I think it was 37-36. So
yeah, it is. It's 37-36. Found it. And Bangor, I think half their team was out because of quarantining rules.
Oh, and they still won?
Yeah, and they still beat Scarborough.
Oh, wow.
And I think Bonnie Eagle had trouble with their opponent. Oh, they beat Kennebunk 54-42.
Oh, Kennebunk's really good though. That's like Class B.
I think they were losing. I'm just saying that
I don't know why you're underrating Kennebunk so much.
What's
Adam.
that?
I don't know why you're underrating Kennebec. So
No, I'm not. I'm just saying they're vulnerable.
Kennebunk.
Kennebunk. The top of Class A is vulnerable, and so I just think more and more. We'll learn next week. Obviously, Oxford Hills and Bonnie Eagle. One of probably the game of the week heading in to next week.
Yeah.
We'll learn a whole lot about Class A, but I think the top of Class A is up for grabs. I mean, Thornton plays Lewiston tomorrow. That'll be a game that Thornton I think will handle pretty easily. And I think that they'll still be the top. But I think we talked about it last week. If Oxford Hills can get that second seed and avoid the Scarborough and Bonnie Eagle teams, and maybe Bangor at this point, that would be huge.
It seems like there's no avoiding it though. Like if there's going to be 4 teams.
You're right. If there's going to be, you're going to have to play somebody. But I'd like to pat myself on the back about Bangor. I said at the beginning I thought they were going to be pretty good. So,
you have been
obviously.
Now I'm ready to put them up there in the top 4 discussion.
Yeah, we really should have led with that. How one Bangor result validates me as a person.
Yeah,
but I wish I knew more about this Oxford Hills game. I'm sure more will come out, and Soren will send something over. But
that's a big win. I mean, that's not a nice win though.
It is. It's on the road.
Scott Higgins no slouch, you know.
Right.
And go on the road and do it. That's good.
After a year off, not really knowing what Skowhegan has, but they're a good program on the road. Third week, you take that. It's a good win, and you take care of business, and then you get ready for Bonnie Eagle.
Yeah. So did we cover every game so far?
I think we
haven't heard anything about Edward Little Sanford. Have you?
Oh, I still haven't heard about Edward Little. The Twitter page hasn't updated it yet, which is a bummer. I wish
I've asked a few other people, and they have not heard about it either.
Yeah, I wish I knew. I'm surprised the Twitter page hasn't said anything on it yet.
Oh. Yeah, I'm guessing that the team that won, they must be just celebrating the night through. Too busy to update us because it's such a joyous occasion.
Yeah, they're just selling so hard.
But that's hopefully we find that out.
Yep.
Let's see, we did Poland. Yeah, just some great games by our teams. This is a fun day. So tomorrow, Lewiston plays at Thornton, and that's hard for Lewiston. They've had a rough start to the season.
Right. Yeah, it is a tough start for Lewiston to just the way they've started, and then week 3 get maybe the best team in the state or one of the top teams in the state. So see how that goes. I'm sure Thornton will probably take care of business, but I mean, you never know. We saw Bangor win today against Scarborough, so they could put up. I mean, Darren Hartley's not going to let them roll over at all. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it's a hard. I don't know. It's hard. They've had a hard start to what was going to be a kind of a tricky season anyway, and that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to have such a rough start because kids stops being fun for them.
Right.
So hopefully they do that. And then Winthrop plays at John Baptist.
Yep. My friend Cole is calling that game for WHOU. Actually, he's very excited.
Good. Okay, good. I was wondering what Cole's up to.
Yep. My friend Cole Hurlbert will be on the call for WHOU, but that'll be an interesting game. I saw the Winthrop Monmouth Halldale coaching staff out at Poland tonight, as well as Oak Hill's coaching staff, who has Lisbon tomorrow at 1:30. But should be a pretty close game. I think both teams, right, have only played one game.
And they both have played Foxcroft.
Yeah, and so Foxcroft, good team. I think they beat Freeport today pretty handedly. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare against each other, because it's hard to know what to take from those games. And Oak Hill was playing Foxcroft really well, and then Tiger Hopkins got hurt and was out for the second half of the game So I'll see if he's available tomorrow to play and see what Lisbon can do with a week off in between games to prepare for Oak Hill. So
and that game is at Lisbon, so that should be that's
fun place to
good
watch
chili
games.
there, so that's fun.
Yeah, good chili. The chicken tenders at Oak Hill, fantastic, really good.
I don't know what they do, but they're so good.
I know, they're crazy. They said on the menu it said 3 for $4, and I was like, I'll pay whatever you want. And then I posted a picture of them, and it's just like a bunch of like chicken tenders, like the size of chicken nuggets, basically, but like a million of them for like $4. It was awesome.
Oh, that's not how it was when I got them. But anyways, they were good.
They were still good.
I think even Levitt coach Mike Hathaway said that they never disappoint or something. So he's on board. He's on board with those chicken tenders too.
Right. At some point, I gotta do a story on like the best food at football games in Maine. I gotta like do a poll or something, ask coaches and players who has the best food. But right now, it's the Lisbon chili and the Oak Hill chicken tenders for me. So,
did you get anything that's Poland?
No, I saw Russ, our photographer, get something right off the bat, and that's what I should have done. That was the move. But I had left my wallet in my car, and I was writing some stuff down at halftime, so I didn't get to go eat anything, and that's on me. Hand up. That won't happen again. Next week, we weren't prepared.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Right.
And I hope you learned your lesson.
I did. I let the team know.
I'm trying to. Is Poland the place that has pies or something? Did somebody tell us that? I think maybe Will told us Poland has pie.
We'll have to ask him next week. We'll get him on next week to ask.
I think so. But one time I got something at Poland, and I was really, really hungry, and I really, really wanted it. But they weren't. I think they were making it or something, and I just kept going back. I might have gotten there early because I didn't have dinner, and I got there early thinking I was going to buy something. And so I did, but they're like, oh, it's not ready yet. It's not ready. So I kept going back. And I remember being satisfied when I finally got to eat.
That's good.
But I can't remember what it was. But
Poland, real nice people.
Yeah, I always like it there. I think that's kind of a underrated football atmosphere that they have there. Just like look, the view of it seems like there's always a nice sunset.
Right.
They have a kind of a cool field. It's just that whole entire athletic complex is kind of cool how it's just so big and set up, and
it's all spread out. Yeah. They got a big bleacher section. I pulled up at like 5:30. And a few people. I was like, oh no. And then it filled up like in the blink of an eye, and they were ready to go. They had a whole student section, whiteout, face paint, the whole nine. It was a really fun night. It was a really cool atmosphere, and I think the players enjoyed it too. It was a fun win to experience for them.
Yeah. But so I don't know. I wonder, it'll be interesting to see who can win that game tomorrow. Poland and Oak Hill, because it seems like they both could use a win. Just kind of develop some kind of an identity, because obviously Foxcroft is for real and tough to beat. So
yeah, they're good. They beat Freeport 28-12. Foxcroft did today. I think if Oak Hill has Tiger Hopkins, then I think they have enough weapons to win. If they don't, it'll be something to look at to see how Lisbon fares against Oak Hill, because I still think Oak Hill's a really strong team, and their defensive line is good. I don't really know what Lisbon has too much, because they only played Foxcroft, and Chris Kate said that his team is really young. So maybe it'll take him a few weeks like it did in 2019. And then like we saw, they went on a run and then won the state title. So like you keep saying, don't count them out. And so I'm not counting them out yet. And tomorrow we'll be telling, I think, one way or another.
Yeah, I think they'll win. I think Lisbon will win. They've got to have some weapons.
Right. And you get the extra week to prepare and get ready for Oak Hill. So we'll see. I'm excited to see how that one plays out.
Yeah. All right, man. Anything else we didn't talk about today?
No, I think that's it. Still don't know an EL score. And we talked about the games tomorrow. So I think that's about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna check to see if the other little score has been updated anywhere. But I don't know. Hopefully they went. Hopefully they pulled off a win over Sanford, but they were on the road.
Yeah,
And so
a little bit of a trip, but hopefully they could find a win tonight. I will obviously tweet it out if I find it, but I have EL's Twitter page on alerts and I haven't gotten a text yet. So
okay. Yeah, they need to win. They
Yeah,
need to
they-
catch a dub.
yeah, catch a quick dub.
Yeah.
That's all.
So we finally have a comment. Somebody named Justin Pelletier said Saturday afternoon at its finest.
Yeah.
Exclamation point. So I think he's talking about Lisbon and Oak Hill.
Yeah, we should. I'll write him back and ask him what he thinks of the chili. And
Yeah,
what
if he even I don't know who this guy is, so I don't know if he
I don't know.
knows
He
anything
must-
about the chili or what. But
I don't know. Maybe he just loves Saturday afternoons.
looks like he doesn't even live in Maine. He lives
Yeah.
in North Carolina.
Like,
So,
yeah, right.
I don't know if this guy knows anything.
No, I'd stay away.
Stay, yeah. Watch out for that guy.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We miss Justin. All right, man. Well, you have a good night's sleep, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Do. All right.
Talk to
I'll
you tomorrow.
All right. I'll see you.
Later.
See you.